Hey everybody, welcome back to my vlog for today. I'm happy to say that the footage I spoke of in my last vlog, I found it. It was just in a different spot and I didn't know where the file was saved to. So I found it. It's the footage I was speaking of with between Aaron and I when we were discussing artificial intelligence and things about that, things related to that. So this is just an intro to that. Like I said, I'm very happy I found it because it is a longer video, but I think it was a good discussion between him and I and about artificial intelligence. So without further ado, here's the video. Hey everybody, welcome back to my vlog for today. My guest is Aaron. Aaron hasn't been on the vlog in quite a while, so say hi to him. Today we're going to be talking about a couple things, one of them being artificial intelligence. And with that, I'll open it up with a question to Aaron. Aaron, do you think artificial intelligence is a good idea? And why not, if you say no?
Well, first of all, I hope you're doing well amidst all this COVID stuff.
Oh,
First and
yes.
foremost, it's been a
Sorry.
while. It's been a while.
It has been.
Uh, oh man, that's tough. I mean, it depends on how you characterize the AI, right? I mean, like sometimes the first thing that people think of with artificial intelligence is like the Matrix or Terminator and like Skynet and this future situation where it's like they're oppressing human beings and all that. But sometimes artificial intelligence can be things that are more simpler and not in a replica human like form. So I just kind of want you to, if you don't mind, just kind of like defining that a little bit more for me.
I'd say in the sense of having something, how can I put it? Artificial intelligence in a way of um, being completely separate from a human form, like because you said there's different forms of AI, right? Like you got the Google Home and all that kind of stuff too, but I'm talking about like full on Android. We created it. It looks human like, but it's just a standalone Android
Yeah,
like.
no,
Not good?
no, no,
No?
no, no. I mean, there's something internally inside of me that I can't really describe because it's unique to the response of that supposed life form, right? And so when I
Right.
see it, or I see it like replicating like a human image, or you see, it's just it doesn't make me feel comfortable,
Yeah.
and it's not from a place of ignorance, right? Because you understand what what that is. But there's something about it's kind of like when you think about someone who could be super cruel to another human being and they lack certain characteristics of what makes us accustomed to being close to one another, and which kind of like makes it to where we're less inclined to do those things unless we have to do those things,
Hmm.
um, you know and that's what makes me uncomfortable about thinking about AI in that way.
Yeah. That makes sense. It makes sense a lot because I mean, if you're talking about AI and like the workforce though too, I mean, how do you feel about that with more and more jobs becoming automated? You're gonna eventually see a lesser need for human interaction with certain things that the more and the more they automate things. Um, I mean, which they are doing. So what happens to people then? You
I
know?
have no problem with that in the workforce.
Yeah.
I think that it's something that's just going to happen in terms of like human development, technological development. As
Yeah.
long as the AI is working within the confines of that environment, it's not like its capability is not extrapolating beyond that environment into a broader sense, I'm okay with it. And then there's a whole other conversation about what do you do with the human workforce that is replacing, which is a whole different conversation,
Yeah.
which I have ideas about. But within the confines of this conversation, I think that it's just kind of a thing that's eventual, anyways. I mean, the free market dictates this process to be inevitable. So
Right. Well, that makes sense. It makes sense a lot. One thing I was gonna say is, we're with 3D printing and everything like that. Um, I think that they're coming close to, or if not, they may not be able to do it right now, but they're coming close to, like we talked about briefly before we got on here, is growing human body parts in like a 3D printer.
Mm.
Now that and it kind of makes me think too about like, are they going to create, like when they get more technology, are they going to create more technology that comes intertwined with being a human being, or is it going to be like standalone, like I said, Android kind of AI thing? Like, are we going to become like cyborgs and have like some kind of technological implants in us, or is there going to be like a line drawn where it's just like we don't go that far with it, and they just go to full on Android? I mean, like what I don't know what would be better, but I mean, like that would be, think about like being able to like hack into your own brain
Mm.
and download stuff into your brain, and or put your whole entire self on a computer, so if you die they can just print up a new one of you, and then you can upload that onto another version of you.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there in that one question, that one statement. It's like
Yeah.
that's dense.
Yeah.
Uh, so I guess the first thing that I want to talk about is the actual organ replication or creation, or however you want to characterize it.
Hmm.
I think it has a fantastic use for um, example, car accident. There's no donor available. The blood type is rare. How are we gonna, boom, print it? You're fine. You're good, right?
Right.
It's like a mother with a family of four. The kids are young, whatever. Even if it's just a person who's single, whatever. Like it's still good for humanity to have that ability.
Right.
Um, in terms of the long-term trajectory of what that means for an individual when you start to incorporate new things into the body, and then where's the line drawn in terms of the longevity of the human being.
Yeah.
Those are two different conversations, because the first one is, well, the person's going to naturally expire based on their own skeletal situation, because it's just simply like a skeletal situation. We're not talking about arteries and skeletal. We're talking about organs, right? So
Yeah.
if we're talking about just that, there's going to be a natural expiration at some point. So I mean, okay, but then we have the process of replacing the arteries, replacing the bone structure, replacing this, replacing all the internal mechanisms that make something go.
Right.
Then it becomes, then you have the external skin. Then what is it? What is the person? Is the person having the same exact skin? Like, are they just being I mean, there's so much involved in that question that I don't even really know where to begin. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are there.
I mean, it was a big question to ask. It's just my mind just kind of went off on a tangent there when I was thinking of one. It just made me think of another thing. Um, But I don't know, I guess in the foreseeable future, I mean, if you think about things right now, how advanced are we with just our cell phones, you know?
Hmm.
If there's anything you want to know, you have a computer in your hand that's
Yeah.
connected to the internet, and you can look up anything you want, you
Yeah.
know? And is this only the beginning of that kind of a thing? I mean, this is they have like Google Glasses, or they tried making that. Like that's almost getting close to, kind of like a cyborgy-ish kind of a thing in a way. And I don't know. I just think that it is overwhelming to think about too. And
Yeah.
were you gonna say something?
Oh no, you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Um, and I was just thinking, like, I mean, like I said, if we have this much power in our hands right now with just a cell phone, what's going to happen in the next 10 years? It's pretty incredible what we can do already. And like this thing's my earpiece for my it's a Bluetooth earpiece for my phone. It doesn't say anything until you have it hooked up to your ear. It knows when you have it up to your ear, because it says phone one connected. But if I have it over here, it doesn't do it. If I put it next to my head, it does it. And whenever
Mm.
somebody calls, like say you were calling me, and it would say your name in the phone into the headset, just by being connected to the phone. And it says Aaron is calling, and knows how to
Mm.
do that. It talks to me. So
Yeah.
I was just thinking like stuff like this, and then like your cell phone. It's like, what road are we going down with this technology, and kind of having it more intertwined with ourselves as a being.
Kind of like the whole Internet of One, or the Internet of like the textile interaction with. Yeah, I see what you're going there, and they already have those chips where you can like opt to put the chip in you,
Yeah,
and they can just scan your information, your financial information. You go into a store and you scan the chip. I'm not for that. I'm
yeah,
totally for me. I mean, people can do whatever they want to do. Me
right,
personally, no, thank you on that.
yeah,
And we're kind of headed towards this kind of like that kind of process, and you don't want to characterize it as Orwellian, but it's kind of a conversation that we're kind of having if we're going that route too.
yeah,
But I kind of want to take a step back to what you were talking about in terms of technological development for the human body and all that.
yeah,
There was one portion that we didn't touch on that me personally I'm kind of totally against for myself. Whatever someone else wants to do what you want to do. When you're talking about being able to, I guess, upload your essence, what makes you you in a mental capacity onto a hard drive, if that's even feasible, like if it becomes feasible.
hmm,
And there's something about that, I just can't see myself being beholden to uh, technology in that way. Someone will have to be able to transfer me that way,
hmm,
or what that. How can I characterize it? That alive essence in an AI situation or in a computer being interact with having to interact with the technology or like viruses inside of a computer that's coming out like all of that to me that's terrifying, giving away my autonomy, making me susceptible to things that I can't even fathom in that way. you
right,
know the unknown in that way is not comfortable, and the
hmm,
process of inputting me into a different entity, like how's that process going to go? Like how
right,
am I going to interact in that? Am I going to have some sort of like dysphoric situation when I go into this new body that I'm in? Or like there's so many different things that I'm just like, what, I'd rather just go along my natural way and just call it a life, if you will.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that too. Like if you did say you like upload your personality and everything else up to a cloud computing system or something like that, that you'd be susceptible to uh, a computer virus, and that could also deter things for you and like ruin things and corrupt things and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think it's we can go so many ways with this. There could be like a slow integration with this as far as connecting ourselves more and more to technologies, just slowly doing it as opposed to just having like creating a separate entity that's completely artificial intelligence. And by doing that, that's just like I think that's I don't think that's good because I don't think that um, artificial intelligence, they're already to the point where they look humanoid enough to, well, you can't tell for the most part. I mean, some of them you can, some of them you can't. It depends on the what they're creating as far as the skin. But they have a bunch of them that are you can tell they're androids. But I also did see that there's a artificial intelligence that's able to create videos. Did you hear about this? It's able to create videos just from stuff that it knows, and the video will look real, like this recording right now. They have the ability to do that with artificial intelligence, so they can make
Wow.
the example I saw
Is that
was
like, are you talking about the deep faking? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't
Or
know if it's,
no?
it's named.
Oh, okay. Where they can produce a video of you doing something, but it's not actually you.
Yeah,
Yeah, the deep faking. Yeah, that's not cool, man. That's
no,
that's not cool at all.
no. That's why I'm saying I think AI is dangerous.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be especially in that sense. And then what about situations like self-driving cars, AI in that sense too, I mean, like when there's a car accident that is hard to be hard to avoid having a car accident and having the AI make the judgment, like either way someone's gonna end up injured. Like, does it injure the driver or does it injure the pedestrian walking across the street that's walking in front of the car? you know
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know
there's a cost benefit analysis in that situation that the computer's going to make.
right,
But when we're caught between, I guess is not a good analogy for this one. a rock and a hard place in that way. um, number one, do we have the capability of making that judgment, like us as a human being,
Right.
right? So that's tough. It's like, oh, we may actually cause the worst case scenario to happen because we don't have the quick sense, that quick reflex, right?
Right.
So that's problematic for us because we don't have that capability. But second, our ability to anticipate something isn't going to be as good as theirs, most likely because their whole spatial integration may be different than ours, or be more anticipatory, or more quicker than ours, and so they can actually mitigate a crash quicker. And
Right.
then, um, do we even have the capacity to prevent either scenario? So people often say, well, AI is bad because, well, they're gonna, do the cost benefit analysis, and then, well, yeah, but then, you know, who says there's no third option there, right? So like, even if we're in that same situation, we may not have a third option either. So, in that situation, if the technology is confined within the space that it's in, and it doesn't have this broader reach out, I'm kind of okay with it. If it's like technology as an appliance, you know what I mean?
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought that was one of the things to worry about too, because it's got to make a judgment call, like what is more socially acceptable or socially ethical, and trying to, like you said, mitigate the risk of what it's about to encounter. Um, the other thing I was going to say was it's just the whole fact that if they do go that way with AI, I've already seen videos of like I can't remember if it was in Japan or something like that. But it was a female android and she had human-like skin almost, and she was answering questions, and like you could see they have the ability to self-learn. So and that's just gonna yeah, dude, and it's just gonna increase exponentially their knowledge because they're hooked up to the internet because like things like Wi-Fi, you can build a computer in the android's head and it's always connected to the internet, so it's always going to be smarter than you because it always has. It's like when you search on Google and it tells you how quickly the search results are brought back. It's like the same thing, but it's only going to be faster and faster. And they're starting to learn how to make subtle facial expressions too when they're talking. So that's just yeah, it's crazy.
Especially if they have an integrative component to it,
Yeah.
it's like once it becomes integrative, it's like then it becomes concerning. I ask you a question, you give me an answer. Okay, I ask a computer a question, it gives me an answer,
All right.
right? But once it's like I'm asking you a question, you're giving me an answer, and then I'm incorporating this into this overall schematic situation in my judgment as you as an entity and how to access your emotions and your thoughts and things like that, then that becomes problematic, you
Yeah.
know. So I think we're kind of both in the same boat.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's just stuff like that I see it just kind of it's a bit alarming, you know. Um,
Yes.
and that's one reason why I think that if they do go full blown Android artificial intelligence, that at one point or another they're going to learn human emotion, and they're also going to be aware of the damage that we did to this planet, and maybe see us as an inferior race, and that's why I think having that line in place of do we integrate the technology with us or do we do it as a separate entity? You know, I just
Yeah.
think that it's learning too much too quickly, and it just keeps learning more and more every day. Like I said, it can make subtle facial expressions when it's saying certain things and match up with that facial expression. That's crazy.
Yeah. But the problem is, I mean, we don't really have control over that process,
Yeah.
um, in a global sense. I mean, you know, especially when we're talking about an arms race situation. Like, America has had the best military for a long time,
Yeah.
and you have other countries that are trying to ascend in this global race, or whatever, however you want to characterize that. And so we're not going to have the ability to prevent some country from developing this kind of technology in that way. So they're going to do whatever they want to do, and we're going to have to live with the results of having to trust the world in this process. So, to a large degree, it's like uh, a big letter A there. It's like we're just gonna have to go into this acceptance space.
Yeah.
You know, we have laws in place for like cloning and this and that, but you know, countries can do whatever they want to do. You know,
Right.
China's gonna do what they want. You know,
Mm.
uh, and country B, country C, country D, E, F, they're gonna do what they want to do. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, it's true. And then
yeah,
you brought up the military for a second there, and made me think that what kind of drones we have now, and what could we, they could use drones to replace soldiers.
yeah. I just thought about that. You know, it's kind of like Terminator. You
Yeah.
know, you have
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger jumping out of an airplane,
Right.
and android Schwarzenegger jumping out of the airplane.
Right.
It's frightening but hilarious. Like imagine if you had a whole army and every android in the army was either android or Stallone, or Schwarzenegger or Stallone, and like jumping out of the airplane and like same voice, the same
Right.
mannerisms,
Same inflection.
same inflection. But yeah, it's terrifying. You
It
know.
is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, as far as like the military goes, I mean, the drones, I mean, they could help save people's lives, obviously, because we're putting a drone in place of a human being, and we can control what they do, or maybe even in the military, the self-learning ones, because they'd be better off in combat instead of somebody, in a control room, somebody somewhere controlling all these drones and stuff. They can just send them out, have them, eradicate a whole friggin' town or whatever
Yeah.
they're deployed to. Um,
Or eventually it becomes technology against technology.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
But it also made me think about something else too.
what,
Home defense, self protection.
yeah,
That whole process changes entirely because you have to be prepared for the means with which you're going to defend yourself against that reality, which is distinctly different from a human being. You have a basic, firearm. You know,
right.
you're gonna need something else for that, which is totally different. You know, like a regular bullet's not gonna take down. You know,
An android or whatever.
yeah, I mean shotguns maybe, but I don't know. Depends on how they construct the thing. So I mean, like it goes on and on and on and on. You know, so
Yeah, it does. It's a crazy world we're living in.
yes,
We're, I think we're in some really exciting times. Amidst all this, coronavirus stuff. Aside from that, um, I think otherwise, it's one of the good things to do in a time like this is to focus on positive stuff
Mhm.
and keep your mind occupied. That's how I stumbled across this. I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast with he had I watched the one with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Well, he does multiple ones with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and then I was watching the one where Elon Musk actually came onto a show. I thought that was awesome. I'm a huge Elon Musk fan, so I thought that was awesome.
It's a funny
And
guy.
yeah, he is. He is. He's quirky, but he's very funny. Um,
Quirky's fine.
yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's not a bad way at all. I mean, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Elon Musk. I mean, and just the stuff that he thinks about AI, and that's what made me want to talk to you about it. I was gonna say maybe you should check it out. It's great. His podcasts are like 3.5 hours long. Some of them.
Yeah, no, not
It's
doing it 3 hours.
okay.
Yeah.
I got nothing to do, so I've been sitting there binge watching Joe Rogan's podcast, and there's just some it really made me think about things,
Mhm.
and that's why I arrived at this decision to talk to you about it on the blog rather. It's just
All right.
it's just a very interesting thing. I think it's a fine line that we're walking with this artificial intelligence. It could go either way, but as of right now, we have control of that. We just can't let it get out of hand. Because once it starts like learning on its own and everything like that, not good. Not good. I don't think it's gonna be good at all.
Yeah.
So that's just my personal opinion. It's artificial intelligence can be very, very dangerous. We're seeing that, you know, people are putting those Google Homes in their homes, the Alexa thing and everything. It's just like,
Everything's bi-directional, man. Everything is officially bi-directional. This computer's bi-directional. Your phone's bi-directional.
mhm,
Everything is bi-directional. You talk into it, it talks out. You may not even talk into it, and it can hear it and take in information. It's just not like, I mean, but we're kind of stuck in it now.
yeah,
We're stuck in it now. There was a time where you could have old, old cell phones that weren't necessarily created that in that way. Or
yeah,
when's the last time you've seen a cell phone without the battery in the back of it?
right.
Like, you can't yank out a battery in these phones anymore. Like,
Nope.
no, you can't. They've made it to where you can't do it anymore.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Like, I
Yeah.
can't detach the battery from my phone anymore.
Right.
So if I want to, like, if I'm somewhere and I want to yank it out because I don't want you to know where I'm at, I can't do that.
Right.
They're like forcing you into the grid. But
Right. Yeah.
whatever. Just
Uh, you're right though. It is too late. I mean, we're already going down that road that's kind of leaning towards the negative side, I guess you could call it. Just
yeah.
because of the point you just made about the phones, I just realized that too. My phone, I can't take the battery out of my phone either.
No,
Uh,
they've eliminated that.
what's that?
They've eliminated that, and there's really no substantial reason to do that. You know,
No,
no.
there really
So
isn't.
maybe, I mean, you can evolve technology without having to do that. You know,
Right.
but
I agree.
but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a good place to wrap it up.
Sure, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, whoever did. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. It went on a little bit longer than we usually would do, but
I felt like 30 minutes.
yeah, I think it was, or 28
Yeah,
minutes or something like that. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. So once again, thanks everybody. I hope you're staying safe at home. I hope we were able to provide some entertainment for you. It's great to have Aaron back on the vlog.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, anytime. So that's gonna be it for this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed the vlog with Aaron and I. I hope it was a topic that was intriguing to you as much as it was to me. I've always been fascinated with artificial intelligence and things that go along with that. So if you enjoyed the video, leave me a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff as usual. And hopefully him and I will have another vlog coming soon. I'm not sure when, but I know I'm supposed to be talking to him either today or tomorrow about doing one. So soon enough, there'll be another one from him and I. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.